Chapter 1, Senior Year. Stephanie Valentine hops into the passenger seat of Brooke Dawson's car in the morning. "Hey," she says as she buckles her seatbelt. "Good morning," Brooke replies. "How was your night?" "Okay," she answers. "Yours?" "Normal. You ready?" Brooke asks as she grabs the steering wheel. "Yeah. Let's go," she replies, and Brooke turns on the ignition and slowly backs out of the driveway. Brooke is Stephanie's best friend. They've been best friends since freshman year. Brooke drives her to school and back almost every day. They're seniors now, and they're still best friends. "I know we just started senior year like 2 weeks ago, but I can't wait for this year to be over. It has been boring so far," Brooke says, giving Stephanie a quick glance. "Me too," Stephanie agrees. The ride to school goes silent for a while before Brooke decides to break it. "Did you hear about the party?" she asks. "What party?" Stephanie asks with confusion written all over her face. "The one Jason's throwing over the weekend. On Friday night," she explains. "Didn't hear about it. Don't care about it," Stephanie replies nonchalantly. "You know," Brooke sighs. "It wouldn't hurt to have fun." Stephanie rolls her eyes knowing where this conversation is heading. "I have fun, B, but not that type. I don't do parties," she tells Brooke. "Fun? You call reading fun?" "Yeah, I watch TV too," she replies. It takes all in Brooke not to facepalm herself or, even better, hit her head against the steering wheel. "You know, I do parties, and it doesn't extract anything from me. It's your last year in high school, Steph. Giddy up. Enjoy it as best as you can," Brooke gives one of her speeches. "Don't you sometimes feel like you're missing out?" Brooke speaks again. Stephanie's lips form a thin line as she thinks about Brooke's question. Sometimes, she does wonder what she's missing, and she knows it's a lot of high school experience, but really doesn't care. She stares out the window as they enter the parking lot. This isn't the first time such a conversation is happening. Brooke gives her a special motivational talk once in a while, telling her to let loose and live high school to the fullest. Whatever that means. Stephanie really likes how she is, though. Not drawing attention, getting good grades, and having a great best friend. But Brooke doesn't seem satisfied with that. She wants her to be more social. Brooke actually has other friends, but she isn't one of the popular crowd. Brooke loves parties, so whenever she gets a chance to go to one, especially one that has the popular crowd, she doesn't take it for granted. Stephanie isn't socially awkward or anything, she just likes solitude. She prefers to be alone than get in social gatherings. That's why she tries her best to be discreet and unnoticeable in school, but everyone knows her in her neighborhood. She sometimes babysits. She's the PG kind of girl. She doesn't drink, doesn't smoke, and doesn't party. The last time she remembers going to a party was in middle school, and it was a cousin's birthday party. She isn't shy either. She just prefers things to be the way they are. At school, she spends time with only Brooke. Sometimes, you'll even wonder how she ended up being best friends with Brooke, because they're kinda opposites. Stephanie and Brooke always have lunch together, though. Brooke isn't exactly very close to her other friends. Stephanie has always hated when Brooke brings up the living the life topic, and she still does. Her answers are always the same when Brooke persuades her to go to a party. No. She knows that soon enough, Brooke would ask her to go to Jason's party, and that isn't happening. Her answer would still be the same. She unbuckles her seatbelt and is about to open the door, but Brooke's voice makes her pause. "This conversation isn't over," Brooke says sternly. "Whatever." She groans and begins to walk towards the school's front doors. "Wait up," Brooke yells and hurries up to catch up with her. "You do know we have few minutes till the first period?" Stephanie deadpans. Brooke shrugs in reply. They walk through the front doors together and down the hallway. They both cite the most popular couple in school. Luke and Ivy. They both call her Poison Ivy though, they can't just help it 'cause of her personality. She's the queen bee. A really mean bitch. Acting all nice and sweet to Luke, the jock who is nice, sweet, brainy, and popular. But she hides her true self from him. She's a bully too. Luke doesn't know all that because of the fake personality she puts on around him. Luke's a good guy and doesn't deserve to be treated like this, and most of all, Ivy doesn't deserve him. The couple says something to each other before kissing, more like Poison Ivy's shoving her tongue down his throat. As Brooke and Stephanie walk by, Stephanie wonders, don't they know that some people find that disturbing? Like her. She frowns as she walks past them. They reach Brooke's locker. "See you later, B," Stephanie says as she walks away to her locker in another hallway. "Yeah," Brooke mutters absent-mindedly. They do not have any classes together this morning, so they'll meet in the cafeteria at lunch. Brooke gets all she needs from her locker, then pushes her backpack in and shuts the locker. She finds her way to her first class, greeting some friends on the way. She sits close to the front and places her stuff on the desk. Luke's best friend walks in and takes the empty seat beside her. "Hi," she hears him say, but doesn't respond or look in his direction. He couldn't possibly be talking to her, right? They've never talked before. He isn't one of those people she talks to. She doesn't have the nerve to. "Hi," he says again, tapping on her desk with his pencil. She then looks at him. "Me?" He chuckles. "Of course it's you." "Hi," she says almost nervously. He stretches forth his hand to her. "I'm Cole," he says. Brooke wants to say that she already knows, but decides against it. She takes his hand. "I'm Brooke. I've been seeing you around. We have chemistry class together," Cole says. "Yeah," Brooke affirms. "So, are you going to Jason's party on Friday?" he asks her. Yeah, I'll come," she replies, internally screaming. "Great. I'd love to see you there. Save a dance for me." He grins. She manages to smile but doesn't respond. She just nods. What do you reply when a popular and very cute guy that you kinda have a crush on asks you to save him a dance? The bell rings and a teacher comes in. The class starts and Brooke finds it hard to concentrate. She keeps glancing at Cole, finding what happened hard to believe. Stephanie heads towards her locker after leaving Brooke. She gets her stuff and makes her way to her first class, focusing on the floor and making sure not to bump into anyone. She enters and takes a seat close to the back. That she sits at the back doesn't mean she doesn't concentrate. It's just one of the things she prefers that way. Girlish giggles are heard as Ivy and Aspen walk into the class. They both sit at the front after making their previous occupants vacant the seats. So far so good, Stephanie has avoided Ivy like a plague and she intends to keep it that way. The one and only Christopher Hayes walks into the class with his good looks and air of confidence, or is it pride? Around him. He doesn't give the queen bee any form of attention. It's like he's oblivious to her existence. Christopher Hayes is the school's #1 playboy. A friend of Jason's, the party thrower, if that's a word. First-class player. And man WH*R star. The guy almost every fucking girl in school wants, not caring about his player ways. No girl can deny that he's hot, whether she wants him or not. Thankfully, Stephanie is one of the few girls that doesn't want Chris. In fact, she wants nothing to do with him. She ducks her head as he passes her to take a seat behind her. As per usual. Christopher sits with this bored look on his face. His eyes rest on Stephanie from behind. Who is she? He wonders as he stares at her jet black hair. He doesn't know her. Never known her. Never noticed her. He wonders if she got transferred to this class or something. He hasn't even seen what her face looks like, but he knows she's certainly not his type. Unknown to him, they started as freshmen together and they've been sharing a few classes since then. Chapter 2, It's Just a Party. Christopher Hayes hasn't always been like this. He wasn't a player before, but things changed in his sophomore year. He liked a particular girl as a freshman, maybe even loved her. She has blonde hair and gray eyes. She's quite a beauty. She was nice and sweet, but she isn't the same now. He thought he loved her, but maybe he was too young to know what love was. So he approached her and they got to talking. Because of his good looks and how he has his way with girls, she agreed to go on a date with him. Christopher put his best into their first date and he did impress her. After, they went on a few more dates before he finally asked her to be his girlfriend. She agreed and they dated for the whole of freshman year. If there's one thing Christopher hates the most, it's cheating. He hates it his whole life. If you're in a relationship, be committed to it. Don't fucking cheat. Why on earth would you go into a relationship if you ain't ready to commit? Is it to hurt your partner? Just like his father did to his mom. His dad hurt his mom really badly. He broke her heart into tiny pieces. His dad was a cheat, no scratch that his dad is a cheat. He cheated on his mom several times, so there's no guarantee he wouldn't cheat on his new companion. He had cheated on his mom several times, but she kept forgiving him or acting as if nothing happened, as if nothing changed. Until finally, he left her for someone else, someone younger, and then he asked for a divorce. His mom was devastated. She cried until she couldn't anymore, but she still signed the divorce papers. It hurt him to see his mom like that, and he was livid that it was his so-called father that made his mom like that. But there's nothing he could have done. It happened 6 years ago, but his mom is yet to move on. His dad married the woman and moved to another state. He's pretty sure his mom still loves his dad. That man doesn't deserve to be called his dad. He is a cheat. If perhaps his dad should find his way back to them and asks to be part of their family again, he's cocksure his mom would agree without hesitation. It seems like she is waiting, that's why she hasn't moved on. He hates that his mom still loves his dad so much. All he has ever wanted since his dad left is for his mom to find someone else and move on. Someone that wouldn't hurt her, but pick up the broken pieces of her heart and fix it. But she hasn't. He doesn't even think she's ready to move on. Thankfully, his little sister was still very young, so she didn't get attached to their dad, and she doesn't even remember what he looks like. That's one person out of the hurt list. So when he found out that his girlfriend was cheating on him, he was mad and he broke up with her. She didn't even care when he broke up with her. Seemed she had already called it quits with him long since. Seemed like she got tired of him and moved on without doing the proper thing. It broke his heart. He felt how his mom felt and hated his dad even more if that was possible. The girl changed totally and began officially dating the guy she cheated on him with. This girl is still in school, in his grade, and he sees her every day. The aforementioned girl is no one but the queen bee Ivy Summers. Yeah. It's her. Poison Ivy. After that experience, he avoided girls for a while before hooking up with one at a party when he was drunk. Then he became a player. He didn't want to commit to any relationship again. So he kept things that way. Hooking up with different girls now and then. No strings attached. Most times, he doesn't remember the name of the girl he hooked up with. He just does it. It's his way of forgetting the pain and dealing with it. Now, the infamous heartbreaker is dating Luke. Luke is actually a good guy. The opposite of Christopher. He joined them last year. If only he knows the real Ivy, he wouldn't be dating her. Well, it all means drama for Chris. Some entertainment. He'd just sit back and watch. Christopher walks into the cafeteria for lunch and joins his friends at a table. "What's up, dudes?" He greets his friends. They bump fists and settle down. "Don't you think Aspen is hot?" Jason asks. Yeah, Max agrees and looks towards the table Ivy's at. As expected, Aspen is there with Luke and Cole. Christopher just shrugs, 'cause he doesn't care. Aspen is Ivy's friend and he doesn't want to be connected to Ivy in any way again. He doesn't like the statement Jason just made. Jason has a girlfriend, so it isn't proper to be checking other girls out. What does he think his girlfriend would do if she catches him doing that? She'd probably hit him on the head out of anger. Albeit Jason's girlfriend doesn't go to their school, they're still really close and sweet. You know you have a girlfriend, right? Chris asks with a scowl on his face. Yeah. Doesn't mean I can't check other girls out, Jason answers, shrugging. How would you feel if you catch your girlfriend checking Luke out? Chris asks. Jason freezes and thinks about it, then a frown appears on his face. Christopher shakes his head disapprovingly and busies himself with his phone. He doesn't need an answer, his facial expression has given him the answer he needs. Chris isn't hungry. Doesn't want to eat anything. He needs a break from school. He can't wait for Jason's party on Friday. Stephanie is already seated at their usual table waiting for Brooke. She's eating salad as she waits. Brooke approaches with a smile on her face. She finally reaches their table and sits opposite Stephanie so that they're facing each other. She drops a milkshake on the table as she sits. Guess what? Brooke beams. What? Stephanie shoots up on her seat, seeing how excited her best friend is. Cole spoke to me today, she announces. Really? Stephanie asks, surprise evident in her voice. Yeah. In class, first period. Cole said hi to me, Brooke says, fanning her face with her hand frantically. He also asked if I'm going to Jason's party, she continues. Stephanie stares at her for a while before saying, wow. I know, right? Cole joined them last year, at the same time Luke did. And they ended up becoming best friends, having a lot in common. Ever since he came, Brooke has always thought he was cute and sweet. You could say she has a little crush on him. She never tried to talk to him because she thinks he wouldn't even look at her and they aren't in the same clique. He hasn't dated anyone in their school since he came. He's really cute, Brooke mumbles. I guess, Stephanie shrugs and looks around to find him. She spots him and agrees, yeah. He is cute. Aha, Brooke sounds, looking in the direction of Cole. There's no way I would miss Jason's party now, Brooke says. Good for you, Stephanie replies. Brooke slurps her milkshake, eyeing Stephanie. She stares for a while, and this doesn't go unnoticeable by Stephanie. What? Brooke stops slurping and says, you're going to Jason's party. Stephanie widens her beautiful hazel eyes slightly and shakes her head vehemently. No. Brooke groans, geez. What's your problem, Steph? It's just a party. You won't die. Stephanie shakes her head again. Brooke is about to snap and she eventually does. Just this once. No. Brooke sighs in defeat, just think about it, okay? For me, please. I'll think about it. Stephanie replies after a pause. She's got nothing to think about, she just wants Brooke out of her hair. Thank you, Brooke smiles. They eat and drink in silence as Brooke stares at Cole from across the room. The both of them usually eat together. They use a table away from the popular clique and attention receivers. Stephanie's phone buzzes in her back pocket. She pulls it out and sees a text from Brody. She immediately replies as her lips twitch in a smile. Who's that? Brooke asks, finally tearing her eyes away from Cole's profile. It's Brody, she replies. Oh. Brody is Stephanie's older brother who's in college. He's now a sophomore in college. Ever since he left, Stephanie has been bored at home. They were pretty close when he was still around, but they haven't communicated for a while now. Brody is busy with college. They're the only children of their parents. Her parents are always out working, so she's usually home alone except when Brooke comes over. So to get a text from him now is delightful. Is he coming home? Brooke asks her. No. But he'll be home for Christmas. Okay. I really miss him, she says. Me too, Brooke agrees as she finishes her milkshake. Is he still dating that chick he used to date? Brooke asks. I don't know, B. We haven't spoken for a while now, she replies. But I hope he isn't. I don't like her one bit, she confesses. I had that feeling, Brooke shrugs. They both smile and stand to leave the cafeteria. Chapter 3, The Party. It is Friday, the day of Jason's party. Right now, it's lunch break at school and Stephanie and Brooke are seated at their usual table. "It's Friday, Steph," Brooke says. "I know that, B," she replies. "So have you thought about it?" Brooke asks. Stephanie looks at her with confusion written all over her face. "Thought about what?" Brooke groans and stares at her like she has sprouted another head. "You're kidding, right?" "No. Is there something I was supposed to think about?" Stephanie asks. Brooke isn't really surprised though. Stephanie doesn't think about things that aren't important or essential to her. "The party," Brooke deadpans. "You said you'll think about it. It has been 2 days now. Steph, don't be a killjoy." Stephanie glowers at her. "I'm not a killjoy." "You are going to Jason's party," Brooke commands. "What are you? My mom?" Stephanie scoffs. "If you don't, I'll. Brooke trails off as she looks around, thinking of something to threaten her with. Stephanie chuckles. "You'll what?" Brooke snaps her head towards her with a mischievous look in her eyes. "I'll tell everyone you're in love with Christopher," Brooke says, smirking. Stephanie stares at her, her eyes as wide as saucers. "But it's not true," she whines. "They wouldn't know, would they? And then everyone in school would know you as the pathetic girl in love with a player," Brooke threatens. "I'm pretty sure there are a lot of pathetic girls in love with the same player we're talking about. And you wouldn't dare," Stephanie says. "Oh, try me. You know Chris is in this cafe, right?" "I'll just climb this table and announce it," Brooke says menacingly. She really wants Steph to follow her to the party. She's gonna meet Cole. What if she fucks up? And knowing Steph, she'll prefer to go to the goddamn party than having to go through the drama that'll come with her saying that to everyone. "No, you won't." Stephanie disagrees. "Let me see you live your quiet, invisible wallflower life after this." Brooke smirks. She knows this is childish, but she doesn't care. "Come to think of it, this is way better than you going to that party," Brooke muses as she slowly stands up. "Brooke," Stephanie miffs. "Don't you dare." "Oh, watch me." Brooke smirks and is about to climb the table. "Wait!" Stephanie panics. Brooke freezes, glad that her plan is working. Stephanie knows her too well. It isn't just a threat. Brooke will do it to prove her point. And trust her to love drama. She'll definitely love the drama that'll follow. "Fine. I'll go." Stephanie gives in. Brooke smiles with a smug look on her face before sitting back down. Her plan worked. She knows how much Steph dreads drama. How much she hates being the center of attraction. "But promise me one thing," Stephanie says, raising her index finger. "What?" "You wouldn't leave my side," she tells her. "Of course. Why would I want to?" Brooke grins. Stephanie sighs in defeat, shakes her head, and then covers her face with her palms. Only God knows what will happen. She'll just have to avoid attention. Brooke parks her car on the curb near Jason's house at a free spot. "This better be good or I'm gonna kill you," Stephanie says. "Relax. It will. And you can't do that 'cause you love me." Brooke smirks. "I can't believe I even agreed to this. Were you actually going to do it if I didn't agree? Would you like to go back in time and change your decision so that you'd know?" Brooke retorts. Steph shakes her head. They both get out of the car and walk slowly towards Jason's house. It's 8 in the night and Stephanie isn't usually out by this time. Her parents are not in town presently, they went on a business trip. Even if they are, they would let her go and pretty much be happy. Stephanie is in one of Brooke's dresses because according to her, Steph's clothes aren't party-worthy. As they approach the house, the music gets louder and louder, which only makes Stephanie to panic more. They reach the front door. "Steph, breathe," Brooke tells her calmly. Okay. Okay. Breathe. She nods and inhales sharply, then exhales. But you do know I'd prefer to be at home reading a book than being in a room full of drunk and hormonal teenagers. Brooke rolls her eyes. Just don't leave my side, okay? Okay, she agrees easily. Stephanie really doesn't want to do this. Parties are scary. Anything can happen. Loud music, drunk teenagers, and whatnot. She hates them even though she hasn't attended a party since high school started. Brooke, on the other hand, has attended a few. The last party she remembers attending was a birthday party when she was 13. From what she has seen on TV, there's nothing good about a party. Brooke opens the door, takes Stephanie's hand in hers, and pulls them both inside. Stephanie resists the urge to cover her ears from the banging music. She looks around and takes the scenery in. People dancing, singing, drinking, grinding, groping, and making out. Gross. Brooke leads, more like drags her, to the kitchen for drinks. She gets 2 red Solo cups after letting go of Stephanie's hand. Want a drink? She asks Stephanie, not bothering to look at her. The music is lower in the kitchen. Not as loud as in the living room. No. Stephanie replies, looking around the kitchen to see if she can recognize any of the faces around, but she doesn't. Even though Stephanie declined, Brooke still pours beer into both cups. She nudges Stephanie and pushes a cup into her hands. I told you I don't want any drink, Stephanie says bemusedly. Brooke takes a sip of hers. Try it, she tells her. Stephanie looks into the cup, scrutinizing it. What's this? Beer? Brooke raises her eyebrows. Stephanie draws her bottom lip into her mouth and shakes her head. No, thank you. She stretches it back to Brooke. Brooke rolls her eyes, but pushes it back. Just hold it. I don't want someone giving you a spiked drink just because your hands are empty, she explains. With that said, Stephanie holds onto her cup with both hands. Wanna dance? Brooke asks. No, thank you very much. Stephanie declines. Please? No. Pretty please? Nope. She pops the P. Brooke's lips break into a grin and Stephanie begins to wonder if she had answered yes instead of no, unknowingly. Before she can ask what's making Brooke happy, someone speaks behind her. Hey girls! A masculine voice says. Stephanie freezes before turning around to see Cole. Wow! He really is cute, she thinks. Hi Cole, Brooke replies, her voice chirpy. I see you could make it. Cole nods, smiling at her. Yeah. And you brought along a friend, Cole looks at Stephanie. Yeah. Stephanie, this is Cole. Cole, Stephanie. She introduces them to each other. Geez. Of all places, I get introduced to Cole at a party, Stephanie says in her head. Hi. Cole greets her. She tries her best to smile. Hi. Cole offers his hand that isn't holding his drink. Nice to meet you, Stephanie. She takes his hand. You too, Cole. She looks back at Brooke to see her grinning. Wanna dance, Brooke? Cole inquires. Sure. Brooke replies before glancing at Stephanie. Steph looks at her pleadingly, trying to pass a message across to her, not to leave her alone. Brooke gives her an apologetic look, finishes her drink and walks away holding Cole's hand. Stephanie isn't supposed to be sad, after all. Brooke did ask her for a dance, but she declined. Now, she has found a dance partner. Stephanie sighs and takes a seat. She doesn't want to ruin Brooke's chances of being with Cole. Brooke likes him. She'll just have to wait till Brooke comes back. Hopefully, it won't be for long. Brooke and Cole dance for a while before sitting down on a couch, a little exhausted. Enjoying the party? Cole asks her loudly because of the music. Yes, I am, Brooke replies as loudly back. Cole begins and grabs her right hand. He holds her hand with both of his. I've always thought you're cute. You are cute. Did he just say that? Brooke asks herself in her head. Her eyes widen a little before she blushes. She looks down trying to hide her blush. Don't hide it, Cole chuckles and raises her chin up to face him. You're even cuter when you blush. That only made her cheeks redden more. You have to compliment me too, he nudges her with his shoulder. You're also cute, she says, batting her eyelashes. He smiles. Cute is for girls. Okay then, you're handsome, Brooke says shyly. Don't be shy. He squeezes her hand reassuringly. Let's get to know each other better, shall we? Brooke just nods in agreement. Stephanie is still seated on a stool at the kitchen island waiting for her friend. She has no idea what to do, so she just stares at her cup. Sometimes she looks around but makes sure not to make eye contact with anybody. Then Christopher Hayes walks in with a blonde chick clinging to him. Trust him to always be with a girl. Always a different one though. She immediately hides her face as they approach. She doesn't want him to notice her at all. He can decide to make her his next goal, and when he sets his mind on something, he always makes sure to achieve it. But who is she kidding? Christopher would never go for someone like her. Stephanie knows she isn't his type, but doesn't want to take any chances. She has black hair and hazel eyes. He mostly goes for blondes and skinny girls, the ones that look like models. Stephanie isn't exactly skinny, but she isn't fat either. She believes she has the right amount of fat in the right places. Christopher gets a beer and leaves the kitchen with his girl. Stephanie has never seen the girl before though. Maybe she doesn't go to their school. She shrugs. She doesn't give a damn about Chris or who hooks up with. Hey there sexy, a raspy voice draws her back to earth. She turns to see a very drunken guy ogling her with his eyes. I can make tonight the best night of your life, babe. Let's go upstairs.